We begin tonight with breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where President Donald Trump has just announced his intention to impose a 50% tariff on all imports from the European Union. It's a seismic economic move, one with aftershocks that are already rattling the very foundation of global trade. You say Walmart should just pay more, but this isn't about one company. This is about the machine behind the American economy, and the quiet, calculated chaos that's beginning to unfold. At first, the signs were subtle. Delayed import orders, containers moving sluggishly between the Port of Long Beach and inland distribution hubs, Asian suppliers issuing quiet warnings about late deliveries, but then, silence shattered like glass. May 23, 2025. A day that will mark a turning point in the history of American retail. In an internal shareholder meeting that felt more like a war briefing, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon dropped the script and delivered a blunt warning. Doug McMillon, VO. Consumer prices are going to rise. Not because we want it, but because we have no choice. A tariff storm is coming, not caused by Walmart, but one that could swallow us whole. And just like that, the message was clear. This wasn't a matter of policy debate anymore. It was the early tremor of a collapse. A breakdown in the logistical infrastructure that has quietly powered American prosperity for decades. Every Walmart store in America, over 4,000 of them, relies on a vast, delicate supply web stretching across China, Mexico, Canada, and Europe. And now, that web is tearing. A 25% tariff here, a 50% penalty there. A factory in Guangdong halts production, a container stuck in customs, a delay in Long Beach. Suddenly the shelves in Michigan and Texas are bare. And who pays the real price? Working Americans. The families living paycheck to paycheck. The parents choosing between groceries and gas. And the crisis doesn't end with Walmart. Ross Stores, the iconic discount fashion chain, followed with its own bombshell just hours later. In an unprecedented move, it withdrew its entire financial forecast for 2025. The reason? Over 50% of its inventory comes from China, where tariffs have obliterated cost structures. Ross can't raise prices without losing its customer base. It can't cut costs any further, so what does it do? It braces for impact. The market reacted like a snapped nerve. Ross stock plunged 11% in a single evening, billions wiped from its valuation in mere hours. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley issued emergency notes. This isn't just a company crisis, this is systemic. Behind Ross stands an army of textile suppliers, warehouse workers, freight operators, and millions of consumers who count on cheap, reliable goods. When Ross wavers, the entire discount economy trembles. Scene 2, Apple. And then there's Apple, a symbol of innovation now pulled into a war no one voted for. President Trump issued a stark ultimatum. Move production to the US or face catastrophic tariffs. For Apple, the cost is staggering. Either lose billions, or raise the price of every iPhone by $200. But Apple's supply chain wasn't built overnight. It's a precision-engineered global ecosystem stretching from Shenzhen and Bangalore to the heart of Vietnam. To dismantle that overnight would be like asking NASA to rebuild a shuttle mid-launch. At Apple's Cupertino headquarters, the lights are on late. Emergency strategies, Plan B, C, D, are being drawn. Quiet negotiations with suppliers in the United States and Mexico have begun. But insiders admit this will take years and cost tens of billions. And until then, the iconic iPhone may become the latest casualty in a war it didn't start. Meanwhile, China has retaliated with new tariffs on United States agricultural products. Mexico followed suit, targeting packaged goods. Even Canada, America's closest ally, has entered the fray. It's a global economic Cold War, and every nation is arming up. But the most alarming development isn't political, it's logistical. Inside anonymous warehouses and behind unmarked loading docks, the silent collapse has begun. One major supplier for Walmart and Target has already slashed production by 70%, laid off 1,000 workers, and is now desperately relocating, probably to Vietnam. And that's a success story. For many small businesses, the only option is closure. The result? Supply is fracturing, options are vanishing, prices are surging. The shelves won't just be more expensive, they'll be empty. Shortages, bottlenecks, and wait times are already creeping in. An invisible crisis is becoming a public catastrophe. This is no longer a debate about tariffs. This is a systemic failure, an approaching economic superstorm. When Walmart rebuilds its entire logistics network, when Ross throws out its forecast, when Apple scrambles to rewrite its global infrastructure, it's not a reaction, it's a signal flare. This is the final alarm bell for the American economy. And still, the White House calls tariffs smart protection. But in the real world, working families are holding their breath. Small businesses are collapsing, and giants are stumbling. If this shockwave keeps spreading, the question isn't who will fall next. The question is, who will still be standing? Let us know what you think. Who's really paying for this tariff war? Leave your comment below and subscribe for more.